Good morning, ladies. This is Cheryl here. I'm here to show you my challenge, my January challenge project, hosted by Nuvia Granado of Junk Journaling Journey. And so I finished this project with the kit that she sent me, the pieces that she sent me. I used a lot of everything. There's not really, there's some pieces left, but I did use everything. And so I want to show it to you because it's not a journal and it's just hard to take pictures of the whole thing because of how it is made. So it is not a journal. It is a stacked envelope folio. And I absolutely love it. I didn't know if I was going to be able to make it all those pieces work for vintage or not, but I did. Because I like a little bling and color with my vintage, so it worked out for me. And it's tied together, held together because I stuffed it, because I have this habit of stuffing things. I stuffed it, and the pockets, all the envelopes have something in them. Well, a couple of them don't. So when I put them in, it'll really be stuffed. But I tied it with some silk ribbon, and I found in my stash this little dangle that I had made with some broken jewelry. And so it fit perfectly. So So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this folio. I'm going to open it so you see how it opens and all the pieces. It's made with 6 different sized envelopes, and we all have envelopes. We have junk mail envelopes, we have card envelopes, we have mailers like the 9x12 mailers. So anybody can make this. But anyway, I want to show you how it opens, and then I'll go back and show you some pieces that are in the envelope and in the pockets. So it goes like this. This is just a regular little envelope. This is a junk mail envelope cut in half. Junk mail envelope. Excuse me. Junk mail envelope. Card envelope. See how it opens? The other half of the junk mail envelope. On top of a junk mail envelope. No, this is not a junk mail envelope. This is the 9x13, which I folded up and cut and made pockets. And I cut the flaps so that they would look the same. And I used Velcro to make, we have pockets here on both sides of it, because it's a big envelope. So once again, it closes like this, this way, this way, this way, and this way. Isn't that fun? Oh my golly, it was so fun. I had so much fun making this. This is the most fun I've had in creating for some time. I don't know. It was just different, new, and I loved it. So what I've done is I've used the wooden pieces that came in the kit, and I gessoed. I used 3 out of the 4. I might add the other one yet. You never know. But I used 3 of them. I gessoed them to bring the color down because they were bright. And then I went back with Distress inks in Victorian Velvet and tea dye, and I went over them, and one of them I made with a little cranberry colored pigment. I brushed a little bit of that on later on. I'll show you that. And I put Distress glitter on this one, and I put just gold nail polish on this one to bling it up because it is Valentine's. I used all of the paper pieces that I was sent, and I used these little bling throughout in different places. I used this netting type thing. I put that down, and then I added some little lace around the border of this envelope. And I love that. Some more of the paper. So in each envelope is, each envelope is a pocket then. And so I created some tags, and I used parchment paper I saved my parchment paper from coffee dyeing and from, painting. And sometimes it gets paint and things all over it. And I love to back my vintage tags with that. So I did that. This is a half of a junk mail envelope. In the beginning, if you remember and watched my video, the very first thing I did as part of this challenge was I took that napkin that had the hearts and the X's and O's on it, and I created a flexible masterboard, because my first thought was to use that masterboard with all that napkin in different places and different Valentine things on it. And I couldn't cut it up, man. I just didn't want to cut it up. I didn't want to bend it. I didn't want to do all that. So I copied it, and I used it as like you would a digital, and I covered this envelope, and I cut this envelope in two, and I used half of it here and half of it in another place in this folio. So I made a pocket out of it with Velcro, and I just have a little digital in there, a little Valentine. I can put more things in there. It's a pretty big pocket, so I just haven't done it yet. I created a charm with the little felt heart and one of the paper pieces, the digital pieces, and the little bling, and there's some of the heart ribbon. I added my own things. Here's one of the doilies, another one of the hearts. I added my own things to complete, the project. It had these cute little envelopes, so I used them. I printed some things onto glitter cardstock because I like a little bling. Here is, I hope you can see me here. I want to be in frame. I made a tag. I used parts that were sent to me, and especially that cupcake thing. So you can get a lot of stuff in here in these little envelopes. This one is like my favorite one. Can you see it? Oh my gosh, it's so cute. It's a window utility bill envelope, which I transformed into this, and took advantage of that window on there. Covered it here with lace and a digital paper. Made this pocket. I decorated it on the back too. And it has a journal card in it, which has gold embossed butterflies. It's fairly simple, again, backed with parchment. You can write on that, and I love do you hear that sound, that crunchy sound? I love that. So when you put it in there, it shows in the window. I love that. Here's another regular card envelope, which I used one of the papers that Nuvia sent. I used the cupcake thing to make a paper ruffle. I vintaged up one of these wooden hearts and added some more of these little things that were sent, these little ribbons and this tulle or whatever that was sent to me. Added some of my own ribbon just to bring in the red, because it was red and pink, and I was like, oh boy, how am I going to make all this work? But it's working. And this is a cluster that I made. I left this pocket empty because I'm not sure. I might put a Valentine card in there, especially if I give this away. Like if I were to give this folio to someone, I might tuck a little Valentine card in there. So this is the other half of the envelope. I'm hoping I can get it in here so you can see it. And it flips up. I made it flip up. It just has a couple of things in it. You know, then it flips back down. And here I have, can you see? It's so long, I have to move up and down for you to see. And so I have this little vintage heart, which I did a little decorating with some of the stuff that I was sent, the little bling. And here are the other little pieces that I made little tags from and put them in there. I thought that was really sweet. And then it opens up to the final part. This is the very back of it, which is that 9x12 envelope, which I made pockets here by folding up, and it already had a flap, so I made 2 flaps out of it by cutting it and sewing down the center of it, and then it became 2 pockets. I don't have anything in this pocket yet. I did make something for this pocket, which was a challenge. I made a shaker tag out of that little bag. I didn't know what to do with that, so I coffee dyed a guest check, a pink one, and I took the bag and cut just the front of it and put it on there and made a shaker tag with the little hearts, and I added some gold and pink in there. This is one of the felt hearts that I was sent. Then I backed it with some Valentine paper that I had, and it's kind of cute and whimsical. I like whimsical, and I love gnomes, so, you know, I had to find a way to use that and bring it into the vintage. So I did, and so there's lots of things that can fit in these pockets. Okay, and these pockets were made again by flipping the envelope up. So I have another one of the little envelopes with a sparkly little, and you know, I backed it. I even backed these little things with the parchment because it just adds that little something something that I love. And here's that digital. See this? Here's that digital that it was that flexible masterboard. So I used all those napkin pieces on there, and they worked perfectly. So so here we are. These are the things I had in the big pocket. This is just some avocado dyed paper. This is a decorated glassine bag, which I put lace on it to make a pocket in the front of it. And I used one of the stickers and a little bow. I used one of the papers that I was sent and I made, and you can see it has paint on it, gesso. I love that. Just adds to the grunge. And this is an old-fashioned ribbon technique that they used to use on greeting cards. And I learned that from Dear Julie Julie. So I have that in there, and then I put this, used one of the hearts from the kit I was sent, and I just used this little mason jar digital that I think it was a freebie. Little journal card, fits right in there. Put some twine on it, you know. And here is a scrappy little vintage heart that I made with all the offcuts as I was working and cutting the papers. I just used some of them on there. Fussy cut the little Cupid guy and used some more of that little pink tulle and a piece of lace. And these are little gold buttons, because as I was making it, it suddenly came to me, you know, when I do little things like this, it just is so sweet to add little buttons to it, you know. I just do that a lot. And I couldn't figure out how to use those googly eyes. So here you go, ladies. I used those googly eyes. I painted them. I gessoed them, and then I painted over them with metallic gold paint to make little gold buttons. And I think they look adorable. And so I transformed them into buttons, and they fit right into the Valentine and the vintage theme. And it looks so cute just hanging out in that pocket. I love it. This is another one of the clusters that I made. So that is my project, and I have used pieces of everything. And I'm so proud of myself because I quite often get stuck and I don't. But I forced myself to think about it, and I've been working on this for a little while. So, only because this doesn't actually take long to make, but using all of the pieces and how to make it vintage, how to fit it into vintage was my thing. So, anyway, it closes like this, then like this, then like this, and this way. I love that, don't you? And this way, and this way. And there it is, friends. If you are interested in this, in doing something like this, and making something like this, or doing a swap, because it doesn't really take that long. I mean, you know, we could choose a theme and we could do that. And so if you're interested, please leave me a comment, because, you know, I can't know whether you're interested in something unless you tell me. But anyway, I wanted to show you. Thank you, Nuvia, for this challenge. I grew out of this challenge because I did something that I've never done before, and I transformed something that I didn't know I was going to be able to transform. In fact, two things. I didn't know how I was going to use that little plastic bag with the gnomes on it, and I didn't know how I was going to use those googly eyes, and how in the world was I going to make it fit into the theme that I had in mind, the vintage thing, man. I struggled with it a little bit, but that's what challenges are for, to stretch you and to grow you. So I love that. Thank you so much. And anyway, thank you for watching. And, you know, like I said, if you want to do something like this, I am all about teaching you guys how to do it. Whoops, I didn't do a very good bow there. But I am all about teaching you guys how to do this stuff if you want to know. You know, I mean, I can make it so that in such a way that it will seem easier. I mean, it looks hard. It looked hard to me, you know, when I first tried it. I was like, I'm never going to be able to do this, you know, but I did. So let me know. Thank you so much. I will see you next time in the next video. Bye-bye.